Prices for virtual land plots are already soaring. One of the best known online environments, Decentraland, has seen more than $50 million in total sales, including land, avatars, and virtual clothing. A patch of land measuring 41,216 virtual square meters sold for $572,000 on April 11th, which the platform said was a record. Sebastien Bourget, co-founder of virtual world The Sandbox, even went so far as to say he thinks the NFT economy would outgrow the real-world physical economy within a decade.
Because there's just no limit, there's no barrier, no physical limit for goods to travel. There's no logistic, no shipping, no limit to creativity.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. In Metaverse, yes, we have new terms coming up for the fourth industrial revolution. And we have Facebook leading the way. And guys, they want to take away reality. Move us over to a virtual world. That's the reason why you need what? Virtual currencies. And Facebook is the perfect company because they already have the platform. They already have Know Your Customer already on the platform. Also, when you add in the digital currency, you can social shop. You can work. There's nothing you can't do on the platform of Facebook. And then plus they bring in the virtual reality where you'll be able to travel the world from your sofa. You'll be able to be LeBron James in the virtual world. Remember, the New World Order already has a patent where they can send a signal through your television to control your mind. And yes, people, it's definitely coming. Now we have the moratorium, looks like it's going to be ending in certain states. We have the unemployment that's going to be ending next month in September. So right now we know the New World Order created the problem, giving out the fake illusion of the government saving you. And now they're going to wait on the reaction because we know the people are going to beg the government to do something. We know they're going to set up the Democrats that's going to make the Republicans look bad. When we know the bird needs both wings to fly. They're on the same page, but the Gillian dialectic works every time. And they're going to run in with this solution, that free money. But then attached to that, we're going to have the Metaverse. This virtual world where people be able to go into. They're not going to want to leave their home with these virtual glasses, this virtual world, this free money that you'll be able to earn. But we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's always an agenda behind it. We know all your privacy is going to be out the window. Tell you what, when, and where to buy it. You have 3 to 6 months to spend this money or poof, it's gone. Because we know when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
I feel like we have to start with the question, what is the metaverse? Do tell us.
Sure, I think you actually did a great job of teeing that up. The best way to think about it is a quasi-successor state to today's mobile internet in much the same way today's mobile internet built off of the internet of the 90s and 2000s. In this instance, however, the iteration is not necessarily going into a smaller computer, but into virtual worlds, virtual simulations, enabling the purchase of things in the real world through those environments, but also in particular purchasing things that solely exist in said virtual environments. Lastly, we think about the augmentation of the world around us, not just the idea of AR and VR inside of a store, but really the connectivity of the real world through Internet of Things into virtual simulacra at the same time.
Now, you worked in the entertainment industry for many years. You worked at Amazon Studios. So I'm curious, how do you see the metaverse replacing traditional forms of entertainment? Like, how does this actually change our lives?
That's a great question. It is like most new mediums or entertainment formats, something that is at first additive or adjunct to our existing behaviors and then slowly subsumes more of that. In much the same way we started listening to radio broadcast.com in the 90s. But at this point in time, there are whole generations that primarily consume categories of media through the internet and through their mobile phones. We've seen some early examples of what's happened here when you take a look at the Travis Scott concert in Fortnite, the Lil Nas X concert in Roblox. Now we're seeing people purchasing music in these virtual worlds, attending just political rallies and more. And so the overall trend is just, you can think of many of the habits that we have today transitioning to said world. Zwift, for example, a privately backed startup, I believe KKR is one of the largest investors, you can think of as a version of Peloton that exists solely in virtual environments.
So Bloomberg Intelligence believes the market opportunity for the metaverse could be $800 billion by 2024. Obviously, now you can invest in it through your ETF. Who do you think are the leading players in this space from a platform perspective, and who will be the leading players?
Certainly, we can identify a number of companies already that are public. Those include Unity Technologies, which is one of the largest cross-platform companies in the world when it comes to game engines and real-time rendering. Think of the technology that allows virtual environments across any device, any endpoint to actually be brought to life. But on top of that, we have a number of other companies that are part of that stack. You have companies like NVIDIA or TSMC, Broadcom, the various wireless tower companies. We have to think about this like we do the internet. There are some of the end consumer platforms where I think primarily the BI estimate of 800 billion is organized. But we have to think all the way down to the companies that produce the hardware we use to access the metaverse, the compute chips that power those experiences, the networking companies that need to deliver this at ever increasing bandwidth and latency and reliability, all the way down to the content companies like your Netflixes and Tinders who have to find a way to exist in this new environment. That total TAM is expected to be in the trillions.
Wow. Curious how you see the worlds of DeFi and the metaverse potentially converging, given, obviously this is another technology that some folks are really bullish on, and I imagine there's some intersection of those in this future world.
Certainly. I mean, for a very large contingent of the crypto population, blockchain is synonymous with the metaverse. Cannot believe that the metaverse can or would exist without decentralized finance, blockchain technology. I tend to believe that it's not a strict requirement. All of the things that blockchain does can be done through other means. The question is it a superior way of doing said things, or is it the likely way to which we do that? The best technology standards don't necessarily win. We can take a look at VHS versus Betamax. But at this point, the blockchain enthusiasts see a lot of really credible arguments here. One of the reasons why Epic Games has sued Apple is on the premise that this stage of progressive taxation through distribution actually strangles the for-profit developers who would build the metaverse. Think of the individual Roblox creator who has to pay both Roblox and Apple to the point in which there's very little left over. And so the crypto community believes that this is a way to build outside of the platforms, outside of the gatekeepers, to own collectively the technology through which they will build the metaverse and avoid the gatekeepers who control their technology choices, but in particular take most of the cut. That's a strong argument in abstraction. It will take some time to see whether or not it pans out versus today's super powerful, well-funded R&D based corporations.
Uber, Bitcoin, self-driving cars. Combine those three together and you have the self-owning taxi. A car that is a corporation that owns itself, pays for the car lease, the car insurance, and the gasoline from the revenues it makes, giving passengers a ride, and there's not a single human involved in that matter.
We're going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go, but clearly we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
This effort. And China has big plans for this. They intend to seed their digital yuan into the global environment by giving it away to visitors at next winter's Olympics. When they arrive at the airport, they're going to get yuan digital wallets. They're going to receive digital yuan. They're going to use it throughout their visits to Beijing, and then they're going to take it back to their home countries. They see this as a huge advantage. Why? Because who controls the underlying protocols, who controls the underlying standards of the future of money will control the future of money.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.